we're back with IGN's E3 live show, beaming at you from e3.ign.com. Next up, we're going to say hello to the gangs of Saints Row the Third. This installment promises to be the craziest yet, so let's see how it's shaping up with Damon.
Thanks, Naomi. Damon Hatfield here, ready to show you what is undoubtedly one of the most fun and ridiculous games of E3 this year, Saints Row the Third, the appropriately titled third entry in the Saints Row series. I'm joined by Scott Phillips, lead designer on the game. Scott, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now really, Scott, what does Saints Row the Third have to offer besides guns, explosions, cars, jets, hot girls, and giant purple dildos?
Well, a lot more, but that's a pretty insane amount of stuff right there. Saints Row the Third is the most over-the-top, outrageous, guilty pleasure game out on the market. We're going to be doing stuff that no other game has done. The crazy factor for us is over the top. We want everything you do to be a blast. We want you to be having fun, laughing all the time.
You can say laughing your ass off.
Okay,
That's fine.
laughing your ass off.
Anything
all
you
the
can
time.
say on network television, you can say here.
Excellent.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Will Saints Row the Third be the only game this year that lets you punch girls in the balls?
I'm sure it is. We
so.
take equal opportunity with our humor, with our gameplay, with our fun. You know, the whole game is just about having a blast as a player. And so we didn't want to restrict things or, you know, put heavy burdens on what you can or can't do to pedestrians. You know, they don't just push out of the way when you ram them with a car. They go flying up in the air and they leave blood streaks everywhere. It's all about the reaction that the player gets, that sort of visceral fun that you're having throughout the entire game.
We mentioned the giant purple dildo. That's what we're seeing right now.
Yes.
We weren't making that up.
No, absolutely not. That was a weapon we came up with early on for one of our later missions. And once we got it in and started expanding on it, and we did some research on the simulation, you know, we had to do a lot of background on that. And we got it right.
Focus testing on the...
Absolutely. We had people do a lot of research on the internet and their personal products.
What was the weapon we were just seeing, the giant fists that make people explode?
Yeah, the Apocalypse are another one of our over-the-top weapons. Essentially, they're the apocalypse in a boxing glove. They cause enemies to explode right in front of you. And those you get about midway through the game, and that's just one of, you know, very many. The airstrike you're seeing right here is another one. You know, the Saints are at the top of their game, and so they're not just getting a pistol 20 minutes into the game or an hour into the game. They're starting off with an assault rifle that's fully upgraded, and they're getting the airstrike within a very short period of time.
So this is an open world sandbox action game, lots of stuff to just play around with and have fun, but what's the actual story that the player is being funneled through?
Well, the setup for Saints Row the Third was that we wanted to take where the Saints were at the end of Saints Row 2, which is, you know, they're ruling this whole city of Stillwater by themselves. And so what's the logical next step for that is that they've become a brand. They've started selling themselves. They started putting themselves on bobbleheads and energy drinks, and you know, there's going to be a Saints movie within the Saints Row universe. They're kind of pop culture icons that people look up to and they want to be, and you know, everybody likes them. And so when you start off at the beginning of the game, you're robbing a bank and you get arrested, which is very surprising to the Saints, because normally, you know, the police just let you walk because everybody loves you. But a group called the Syndicate grabs you and says, you know, we're bigger than you, we're a much larger multinational gang, and you need to pay us 2/3 of your profits every year, otherwise we're going to kill you. And the Saints don't like that, and so they start attacking the city of Steelport, which is the new city of Saints Row the Third, which is the hub of the Syndicate. And you go around, you know, you end up destroying large swaths of the city in order to take out the Syndicate. At the same time, we add in a military group about halfway through the game. The government sees what's going on in this crazy city. You know, there's massive gang fights. You're calling in airstrikes, blowing up huge city blocks, and they bring in a group that brings in even better toys for that sandbox. You know, we'll see a little bit in here the VTOL, a jet that can go from hovering like a helicopter to taking off at supersonic speeds, and we bring in some really great tools about halfway through the game.
So we're seeing some of the customization here, yes?
Yeah, player choice for us is a huge option. We don't want to force you to be anything or look like anything or play in any certain way. And so, you know, dressing up like a furry, dressing up in a spacesuit like we are here, is one of many options that we allow you to choose from. And we want you to play like you want to play and to have fun how you want to have fun. And so the whole thing is about player choice and those options.
Can you play as a female character?
Yes, you can play as male, female. We have a selection of voices, so your player will vocalize. You can taunt people in the city and get reactions out of them. We also have a brand new a slider that I'm sure a lot of people will be excited about, which we call the Sex Appeal slider, which does appropriate things if you're male or female. It enlarges or shrinks different parts of your body, which I think most people can guess what those parts will be.
I'm just going to set my slider all the way to maximum.
Yeah, well, you got to keep true to life. You can't.
Right.
You got to keep it real.
If you're a female character, is Shaundi still your girlfriend?
Shaundi is just one of your lieutenants.
Oh, wait. I guess I got the feeling that she was like your main squeeze or something. Like.
No, you do. There is a kind of a deeper story with Shaundi in Saints Row the Third, but it's not really a love story. We're just a fun action game.
Got it. This is
So
the jet you were talking
this
about.
is the
awesome.
VTOL. So right about here, it transitions in kind of a really badass way. And you can go flying through the city. You can store these at your garages. You can take them out at any point. So if you crash it, no big deal. You can just go pick up another one. It has laser beams. It has these rockets that track to wherever you're aiming at. So you can really cause a lot of havoc and a lot of mayhem throughout the entire city.
Now, most of the missions, I think you told me 75% of the missions actually take place outside. They're not in the open world. They're in like instances, correct?
I think there was a miscommunication there because that's not actually true. Most of the missions take place within the city.
Okay.
The beginning of the game, you're in Stillwater, which is the city from Saints Row 1 and 2.
I see.
And then you move into Steelport at the very beginning of the game. But yeah, everything takes place within the city of Steelport.
I see. The missions
Now-
that I've seen so far, go ahead.
Right here is the Johnny Gatmobile. This is one of the ways we're selling that the Saints are, celebrities. They're stars. They have their own cars driving around the city, pimping them. They have Planet Saints, a store that sells Saints merchandise. And this
is my favorite thing I've seen in the game so far.
Yes, this is everyone's favorite, the Professor Genki Super Ballistic Maniple. Essentially, you can drive around and pick up pesky pedestrians and then launch them right out of there. You can fire them up into the air. You can fire them at objects. You can use them to take out your enemies, but you can also jump in yourself with our full drop-in, drop-out co-op. This is going to be a blast to play with your friends, fire yourself or them out of it, go for a flight.
How many players can play at the same time?
It's two-player co-op.
Two-player. Online or local?
Yeah, both local.
Both.
Yeah,
Very
both
cool.
local and Xbox Live and PSN.
And you can run story missions together?
Yep, you can play through the whole game. Saints Row 2, I think, set a whole new standard for open world co-op, and we're just continuing that. It's a blast to play.
The missions I've seen so far have a much more cinematic feel to them, I think. Is that's a new direction you're trying to take the series?
Yeah, we didn't want the player to just have, run here, shoot this person, you complete the mission, that's it. We really wanted to take our missions to the next level and make them feel like huge set pieces that really grab you and pull you into the story and the world. And so it's not just, taking over the city and having fun in the city. It's also these great missions and this story about how the Saints go from, this celebrity icon where people on the street will come up to you and they want autographs.
So what's the craziest thing about Saints Row the Third that you can reveal so far?
Well, I think so far, I think people love the dildo bat. That's the
really? That's everyone's just going to run around and beat people up with the dildos.
That has been the best thing. It's in the open world. You can't even really predict a lot of the stuff because when we watch, we run play tests all the time. We do usability studies and have people play it, and you can never really tell what they're going to start doing. They often just go off and entertain themselves. The rooms when people are playing are always full of laughter.
So when's everyone going to get to play Saints Row the Third?
Saints Row the Third will be out on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC on November 15th.
Excellent. I'm excited. I'm going to play it. Thanks a lot for joining us, Scott.
Thank you.
Saints Row the Third. It's the craziest, what's the actual quote? The most ridiculous, over-the-top guilty pleasure in video games.
That's right.
Back to you, Naomi.
Thanks for that look. And how did you guys like that insanity? Let us know with Twitter, follow at IGN, and tweet us with the hashtag E3. Next up, we're going to continue with the show with some Hobbit-sized adventures. Lord of the Rings, War in the North is up next.